They say that pride can lead to a fall, but sometimes pride just quietly keeps you from growing. For me, it meant doubling down on my capital when I should have gotten started building partnerships sooner. What started as a $50,000 commitment has become $110,000 of my own cash in Summit Acreage. Pride is what's made me pay the price, but paying the price is what's teaching me to overcome my pride. Welcome back to Beyond 40 and Just Getting Started, the place where we dive into the journey of growth and abundance after 40. Another month has passed on my false peak using land flipping to convert $50,000 of my own money into $100,000 of profit between the beginning of August 2025 and the end of July 2026. Last month's update was primarily about how the original contractor I'd intended to use to maintain the daily operations in the end hadn't worked out. And because of that, I had been sucked back into the weeds of the individual interactions within Summit Acreage. I'm happy to report throughout this month, we've had a new contractor in place. Her name is Melissa. She is fantastic and doing excellent work. She is thriving in the environment, sending out mailers, responding to requests for offer, comping properties, and getting property after property under contract. Summit Acreage is really doing well on the operations side. As alluded to in the intro, the overarching problem from this month has once again been me. From the beginning, I've known that I would need to go out and find external investment to continue to fund the operations of Summit Acreage. I knew that my $50,000 of starting money wouldn't be sufficient to achieve this challenge. But as soon as I regained the bandwidth to actually enable me to start working on external investment, I ran into another roadblock. And that roadblock, plain and simply, was personal pride. It's been an interesting roller coaster over this last month as I've tried to understand my own need to feel self-sufficient. I've consciously known that I need external investment, but when it came down to the actual action of creating the pitch deck, having the private note written up by a lawyer, and then going out and actually engaging people that I know, inviting them to participate in the investment opportunity, I ran into a personal hurdle of my own need to feel self-sufficient. I had no idea how deeply ingrained it was in me to not need anything from anyone else. In part, it may be from my upbringing and my culture and my life experiences, but I know a large part of it is just my personality. Wanting to stand on my own feet and wanting to be independent is of utmost importance to me. Entering into this Summit Acreage challenge, I anticipated being able to frame it mentally that this is an investment opportunity for the people I know to benefit from themselves instead of feeling like I need them to continue Summit Acreage. What changed in the process was the success that Melissa has had. Her success truly has driven us to where we need additional capital. The $50,000 that I put in initially, I thought would hold us over for months. That $50,000 has been quickly consumed in purchasing inventory. So now I'm faced with the exact predicament I didn't want to be in. I didn't want to go out psychologically knowing that I actually need the external investment, because that plays games with my ego and my desire to not need anything from anybody else. So for multiple weeks this past month, I literally buried my head in the sand, trying not to acknowledge the predicament that I was in. In fact, I was silly enough to refuse to tally up the total amount of purchase agreements that I had signed up to that point, just because I knew it was more than my capital could handle, and I didn't want to feel like I needed external investment that quickly. So once again, I wasted a lot of time this month just trying to overcome personal demons. It's amazing how much this journey out of the employee swimming pool towards the prosperity pool causes you to really self-evaluate and recognize what are the characteristics that have held you back before. And when you find them, you have to confront them. Speaking from my personal experience, that has not been easy. So after an excessive amount of soul searching this month, the good news is I finally have created the investor pitch deck. I've created the list of people to whom I'm going to go out and invite to participate in the success of Summit Acreage. And I have engaged a lawyer to actually write up the official private note. But I have not yet actually had a conversation with an external investor inviting them to join. Frankly, I know those conversations are going to be a problem still because of my pride, but I'm committed to overcoming it. In the meantime, because I lost time and buried my head in the sand, we have to date signed 9 purchase agreements. Those 9 purchase agreements are purchasing properties as cheap as $4,000 and as expensive as $12,000. All in all, we've committed to approximately $70,000 of spend just on purchasing pieces of land, not counting operational expenses nor closing costs. With all of these closings occurring within the next 4 weeks from the time I'm recording this video, clearly I don't have time to wait for external investment. In order to mitigate the cash flow challenge, I've had to contribute more of my own money into Summit Acreage. My goal had been to strictly utilize $50,000 of my own capital, but to date I've had to increase that contribution to $110,000. And I legitimately hope I'm learning my lesson to not be afraid of collaboration, to not be afraid of partnerships. In the end, as they say, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. That's a lesson that I may be able to recite, but I clearly still have something to learn there. I'm certain there'll be more to discuss on that point in next month's update. Moving on now to the performance of Summit Acreage in terms of the metrics. The operation begins by sending out direct mail to individual landowners requesting the opportunity for us to make an offer to purchase their specific piece of property. The volume of mailers that you send out is directly related to the number of people to whom we can offer to purchase our property and the number of deals that we effectively get through our system. To date, we sent a little under 11,000 pieces of mail between the middle of August 2025 and the end of October 2025. Originally, I was tracking the appropriate number of pieces of mail that should be sent out just based on assumptions that I had made at the beginning of this Summit Acreage project. But now that we start to have some empirical information regarding our response rates, I've been able to modify that and fine-tune it to our actual performance instead of just based on assumptions. And with that, we are approximately 30% of the mailer pace that we should be at this point in order to achieve our challenge of making $100,000 of profit by the end of July 2026. So we are still clearly short on the mailing front. In terms of the response rate to our mailers, regretfully, the response rate to our mailers this month has declined marginally. Last month, we were at 1.39% response rate. We've dropped this month to 1.34%. That metric is going in the wrong direction. But the good news is that the offer closure rate this month has climbed significantly. Last month, we were closing a little over 4.5% of the requests for offer that came into our system. But this month, that metric is over 6%. Excellent improvement. As mentioned earlier, we've so far signed 9 contracts to purchase pieces of property, and we've already taken ownership of 2 of those pieces of property. We're now able to engage in selling pieces of property and actually progressing towards our first revenue. That's an exciting milestone. Speaking of revenue, profit to date stands at negative $15,500. Another metric I want to introduce this month is a forecast of where the project would land if we continue at the same operational cadence that we're performing at today. I project that we would fall far short of our $100,000 goal if we maintain the status quo and likely only achieve a little under $30,000 in profit. While $30,000 in profit would still be a positive number, it is unacceptable. The goal is $100,000, and that's what we're going to achieve. Stay tuned to see how we achieve that. I confessed earlier that my pride caused me to pay the price of having to contribute more of my own money to keep this challenge moving forward. In what ways have you wrestled with pride as you've tried to achieve your goals? Comment below in what some of your experiences have been in combating that pride so that you can achieve a higher height. And more specifically, I'm interested in what tools did you use to overcome your own pride? We're on a journey here to make it to the prosperity swimming pool and to enjoy the abundance that should be the default for everybody who's willing to take this journey. Thank you for joining. See you next time.